My name is Zach Green. I'm going to be reading my personal narrative. I'm in Mr. Harrell's English Comp 111, if that matters. The title of my narrative is Unfamiliar Faces. Everyone has been the new guy at some point in their life, whether it be a new school, new job, or anything. We all know the feeling of strangers looking at you, judging you, and forming an immediate opinion of you even though you may not have even spoken yet. The first day of being this unfamiliar person when no one knows you is always the most stressful because how you act the first day, some people will shape their opinion of you. If you are quiet, people could think you are antisocial. If you are talkative, people could think you are loud and annoying. After you become acquainted at this new place, it is interesting to look back to your first couple days as the new guy. I went to a small private school called Holy Family for 9 years of my life, kindergarten through 8th grade. During my first year, there were about 60 of us in my graduating class, which was the biggest class in the school. We lost and gained people every year, resulting in a final graduating number in 8th grade of 50 people. As the years went by, spending 9 hours per day with one another made us all grow closer, and by the time we graduated, we all agreed that we were pretty much family. We all grew up together and knew one another extremely well. However, high school was on the way. We were all really excited to get out of Holy Family and move on, but we knew that we would all be separating. Choosing what high school to attend was a big part of 8th grade. For many, cost was not a factor because their parents had well-paying jobs, so these people just got a group of friends together and all went to the same school. For others, however, a 4-year, $10,000 tuition followed by college tuition was too much. I was one of these people, so I began attending a large public school known as Stowe Mineral Falls High School. Unfortunately, all my friends went to private high schools, and the few people that went to Stowe with me were the only 4 or 5 kids in my class that I had never even spoken to. As one can imagine, my first day was a little tough. My first day of high school is a freshman orientation where they have us meet new people and become familiar with the school. Looking around the massive commons area, all I see are unfamiliar faces. I can feel people thinking, who is this kid, when looking at me. The thought of no one knowing anything about me but still forming an opinion of me scared me. I scan the room for someone to talk to, but everyone is hanging out with their middle school cliques. Soon after, we break off into groups and I am left with about 10 other people. I feel a sense of relief because it seems no one really knows each other. Knowing the importance of first impressions, I still feel way too nervous to actually try to talk to people, so I just keep quiet and take in all the aspects of my new school. We started off in the auditorium and watched a presentation. Most of it was basic stuff. Get to class on time, have fun, be respectful, all the usual things. Afterwards, we did a few forgettable activities, then later went to lunch. For the majority of the preceding summer, one of my biggest fears was not having friends to sit with at lunch. I look around the commons and see several people sitting alone, and I tried to figure out where I should go. Luckily, I happened to see an old friend from Holy Family who had left in 6th grade named John, and decided now would be a perfect time to try to catch up. John and I were not best friends back in elementary school, but we got along well and even played baseball together, so I figured he would remember me. I walk up to John and ask if it's cool if I sit with him, and end up sitting down before he even gets the chance to answer. I awkwardly try to bring up some old memories from Holy Family, and we make some small talk about it. Suddenly, about 5 of his friends who I had never seen before come up and sit with us. They made some friendly small talk with me, but I was still way too nervous to have a genuine conversation. Coming from a school where everyone knew each other so well did not prepare me for this change at all, is the main thought running through my head. Lunch eventually ends, and I thank John for letting me sit with him. The next class is band, and this is where everything finally started changing for me. I was in band at Holy Family, but Stowe's band ended up being way different than what I had anticipated. At Holy Family, our band met twice a week before school and had 2 concerts in the entire year. I played snare drum and I enjoyed it, but I really just did it so my parents would buy me a drum set. I decided playing in high school could be fun, so I joined. I walk into band on the first day and see everyone sitting in a room talking with their friends. I do not know anyone in the room, nor do I even know what instrument I was going to be put on. I sit down in a chair in a row by myself and wait to see what is going on. After about 10 minutes of everybody sitting around chatting, I figure we are not doing anything and just use the period as a study hall. I sit there and text my friends and play games on my phone. I remember feeling very alone. The day is almost over and I have not even made any new friends or spoke to anyone outside of lunch. There are 4 kids sitting behind me talking about video games, and I overhear them talking about Call of Duty, one of my favorite games. So I turn around and say, I love that game. Do you guys play on Xbox or PlayStation? We ended up talking for the rest of the period, and that is when they tell me I missed band camp and all the practices in August, as well as 2 performances. This means everyone has all the music and the entire show memorized besides me. I had no idea how to feel about this, and to this day I still do not know how I feel about it. Everything would have been so much different if I would have joined band on time, but I have never known if it would be different in a good way or a bad way. One of the boys I talked to in the group behind me was named Austin. He was really eager to fill me in about band camp and even just talk about anything. Austin played trumpet, as well as another kid in the group also named Austin. The other two boys are named Connor and Ryan, and they are both in percussion just like me. Austin is the one that talks to me the most. The other three seem really shy, just like me. At the end of the day, we have a pep rally for all the freshmen, and I sit with Austin. The next week, I sit with Austin and his friends at lunch, but I do not really talk to them. They seem a little strange, so I decided to go sit with Ryan, Connor, and the other Austin at another table. Austin ended up joining the next day, so it ended up being us five for a month or so. I was quiet at first, but we ended up talking a lot more and getting along really well. We talked in band and sat together every day at lunch. I had Spanish with Ryan, and me and Austin had science and history together, so I sat with them in those classes. All my worries about not meeting people in high school vanished, and I was beginning to have high hopes for my new school. As freshman year and high school went along, this experience, my first few days of freshman year, caused me to have a much easier time making friends. I made a bunch of new friends freshman year that I am still friends with to this day. I even managed to get my first girlfriend. I have come a long way since that first day of my freshman year. I have no problem talking to people now. The me freshman year made friends, but still was very shy and had a hard time talking to people I did not know. People usually had to approach me for me to talk to them, unless I heard them talking about something I knew, such as video games like that day in band. I will talk to almost anyone today. As high school went along, I became much more social and outgoing. I made friends with people in every class, every year. I even improved a ton in band. I was the worst player in my section in band my freshman year, and this year I am one of the leaders. The lesson I took out of this experience is to be more outgoing. When I go into college next year and am on my own again, I want to approach it with a positive attitude and make friends by being myself. I'm very confident for what lies ahead in my future.